Welcome to beautiful Lisbon. It's a city that is definitely very touristy, and this is one of the reasons I have actually avoided coming to Lisbon for such a long time, is because I know that it has this reputation of just being jam-packed with tourists because it's the hot new thing. It's been the hot new thing for like 5 years or so, maybe a little bit longer if you're from Britain. But I'm finally here. One of the reasons is my girlfriend always really wanted to come over to Lisbon and to Portugal, specifically Portugal. We managed to go to the south of Portugal, and I thought to myself, okay, this is a good opportunity to finally explore the city that so many people do rave about. So let's walk around for about 30 minutes and talk about my first impressions of Portugal. Welcome everyone, nice to see you here. Right now we're on the Baixa district. Pardon my Portuguese, I'm doing my best. Portuguese sounds significantly different from Spanish, so it's sometimes a bit hard to pronounce the words. But here is the gridded area of Lisbon. Nice uniform style of buildings that were constructed to be earthquake proof after the great earthquake of 1755, which destroyed the organic, more crisscrossing, winding roads of old Lisbon, and a lot of these grand Manuelian style architecture that was very ornate and made out of stone were just decimated by the earthquake, or more so than decimated. They were 85% of the city was destroyed, and then they reconstructed fairly quickly. It only took them about a year or so to start reconstructing this area of Baixa, which is the flattest area of Lisbon. Lisbon is known for its hills, and we can see the hills right up there. And there's the area of Fama, which we'll get a glimpse right over here. So welcome everyone. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Hello, Kay. Okay, you have another last name?
Very good.
Kay, does that mean what I think it means? If it does, congratulations. And let me know, how is everyone else doing? I haven't done a live video in many months. So I'm so glad to be back on live. This won't be the only live video I'll do in the next week or so. You'll stay tuned. There'll be a few more. But let me know how you're doing. Look at this gorgeous fountain. So the city of Lisbon was reconstructed by the Marquês de Pombal. And this guy was ingenious because he established martial law, basically, because people were looting like crazy and stealing and causing chaos. But after that, he hired the best architects of his time to find out how they can reconstruct the city and also make it safe against natural disasters, such as earthquakes and also tsunamis. And that he did. A lot of these buildings that we see over here have a unique wooden structure called the Pombaline cage, which allows the building to be flexible so it can shake if there's a seismic event. Hey, Robbie says, finally alive, I'm so happy. Bar says, you are alive, I missed the lives. Hello, Michael. Hello, Alfred. Hello, everyone. Before I get a bunch of comments, I am wearing my suntan lotion. I always get comments about these. I'm a naturally red person. I have lineage from genes from Ireland, Scotland, and northern Spain. They're also very red people. But also I just ate an amazing cheesecake. I'm a little bit sensitive to lactose. So I'm not sunburnt, I'm just red because I had a beautiful, beautiful cheesecake. Is this Lisbon, Portugal? Yes, it is, straight. Thank you so much for asking this question. Is there another Lisbon? I'm very curious because I know in America we have a lot of cities named after European cities. So sometimes you see a few of them. Ooh, I've seen this in Paris. This is the first time I've seen it in my journey here in Lisbon. A very ornate water fountain. Shreya Queen says, I hope to get here at some point. Kay says, no, didn't get married. Just wanted to go back to my maiden name. Have to do it gradually because of business. Oh, I see. Okay. Hello, Roxanne, leaving a $10 super chat tonight. Ooh, thank you so much for watching from LA. So this is going to be a short live stream, but fret not, I will show you at least one more time Lisbon. But my first impressions of Lisbon, the people here are very friendly. Though in Lisbon, you don't meet so many of the locals unless if you go to the outer neighborhoods. If you're mostly in this area of Baixa or Alfama, you're not going to see so many locals. But the few locals I have met have been very, very friendly. The food is excellent. Lots of seafood and more emphasis on chicken than beef or pork. I've barely seen pork actually here in Lisbon and Portugal overall. So I came here about 12 days ago at this point. My first stop was in Lisbon. My girlfriend and I went all the way down to the south of Portugal to the Algarve, which is known for its beaches, its stunning natural landscapes and cliff sides. And it was spectacular. I was blown away. I'm usually not a person who would travel to see some natural landscapes or beaches unless if it's close by public transportation. But it was highly, highly worth it. And then the past 5 days or so, I've been here in Lisbon and had the chance to explore a little bit more. And I'm really loving it. Another thing is the food actually, if you leave the touristy area of here at Baixa, the food ends up being very affordable from a New Yorker's perspective. So the food prices are more in line with like parts of France, parts of Italy, and it's actually very nice to eat out. The wine though is spectacular. You could buy a bottle of wine at a restaurant for only 13 euro was the cheapest one that we found. But the most expensive one that my girlfriend and I indulged in, we splurged. We bought a 24 euro bottle of wine. For context, if you are from Europe, in America, a bottle of wine will cost you minimum $60, but usually it's more like $100. Let me show you a little bit more around over here. Straya Queen says, indeed, Portugal wine is the bomb. Rock says, it still amazes me that we can see HD live video from halfway around the world. Yeah, man. Alfred says, when will we meet your girlfriend? She's appeared in my Instagram stories and she appeared a few times in my live streams from Berlin and Italy. She went back to New York. She joined me for the first leg of the trip. Hence, that's why I wasn't posting content. I took my first vacation, my first real vacation in Europe since 10, 12 years ago. I've come to Europe in the past 9 years, nearly 9 years, for work, to make videos, to make live videos, to make short videos, to make documentaries. But now, for the past 10 days, when I was here with my girlfriend, it was pure vacation mode and it felt delightful. I did post Instagram stories, but aside from that, it was nice to actually take a vacation. And no wonder people come to Europe for a vacation. It's truly, you get the best of both worlds, especially if you come to a place like Portugal. You can have vibrant city life and then you can go and enjoy relaxation by the beach. Tony says, are we in Lisbon today? Yes, we are. So right here, we see one of the few actual ruins that are left from the earthquake of 1755. That's the Carmel Convent. I'm finally going to Europe for the first time in August, says Donald. Oh, Donald, that is awesome to hear. Awesome to hear. I hope you do enjoy your trip to Europe for the first time. Europe is surprisingly affordable, especially if you come to Portugal. There's a few other countries that are like it, like Greece as well. You know, sometimes lodging can be a bit the biggest expense, but compared to the US, usually you don't need to rent a car, so that will save you at least $500 or more. and that is a big savings. And then food, usually you save 50% of what you would spend in many American cities. So traveling to Europe may seem daunting from the American or Canadian perspective, but is actually sometimes, a lot of the time, cheaper. And the sidewalk, yes. So Lisbon is very well known for its tiles and cobblestones. And you'll see tiled buildings all around the city. We're gonna see if we can get closer to a tiled building soon. But this pattern was recreated in the boardwalk of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Michael says, was your hotel more than $300 a day? No. No, the most expensive hotel so far my Portuguese trip has been $200 a night. And that's because we stayed in a very beautiful area in Lisbon called Alfama. Oh, actually, it was $250 a night. And it's because my girlfriend and I stayed in a resort in the Algarve, Boutique Vivienda Miranda, which was spectacular. But that was because it was like a splurge. Otherwise, you don't need to spend that much in Portugal. Don't worry, you'll find affordable lodging. By affordable, I mean you can find things for like 110, 120. Other cities, of course, are going to be way more affordable. My next stop next year. Ooh, Roxanne, that's so cool. Oh, I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I can't wait. I cannot believe I waited this long to embrace Portugal. As I mentioned in the beginning of the broadcast, I was hesitant because, you know, to me it seemed like I thought it was, you know, so many Instagrammers and YouTubers come over here, they do countless videos. It's like, I thought it was just overly exposed. And I just did not have much interest in coming to a city that it seems like everyone talks about. Unless if it's a Paris or a Rome, because there's just so much history there. So I did not have the feeling to come for a long time until very recently. So right here we have the Castle of St. George, one of the oldest fortifications in the entire city, involved in the reconquest of the Christian kingdoms, taking back their land that was taken over by the Moorish caliphates for many centuries. Lisbon, yep, Lisbon, as we are walking right now, 1,000 years ago, was Islamic. It was part of the caliphates, different caliphates. A lot of the caliphates were from northern Africa, but they were associated with the caliphates also in the Arabian Peninsula. And they ruled the Iberian Peninsula for a long time, until they were fully ousted about the 1500s. Watch out for pickpockets in this area. Yes, Marcus, indeed. So feel free to ask me any questions about my first impressions of Lisbon. I've been here for a little bit longer than 12 days. So this is my first trip here. When it comes to sightseeing, there's not much sightseeing in terms of amount of sites compared to Paris or Rome or London or even Ireland, Dublin. There's a little bit less, but there's some great sights to see nonetheless. There's definitely museums, but world famous sites, not that many. This is definitely amongst one of the more famous sites is the Basha district. And let's check out these beautiful tiling work right over here. So here we actually see the buildings with tiles. Ooh, actually we have the tiles right over here. Look at that. What foods have you tried? It says Shreya Queens. Great question. Here's a double-decker bus. So to finish my point on tourism, there's not that many big world famous sites. I think Lisbon is more of a place to enjoy for the vibe. Similar to, what's a good city that compares? Like parts of southern France, in my opinion. So here is the what the Portuguese called azulejos. Azulejos. A little bit hard to pronounce it in Portuguese. I'm gonna pronounce it in Spanish. Azulejos. And these are the famous tiles that date back to Moorish times. This was a practice brought over by the Islamic Moors to the Iberian Peninsula and maintain its popularity in Lisbon throughout the centuries. And these are meant for temperature control of the buildings. They keep the buildings cool in the hot summer sun like today, 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and warm during the winter, which is great. And then it's a popular souvenir as well. And actually other countries that need to learn the craft of tile making, ceramic tiles, they actually come here to Lisbon and to other parts of Portugal. Michael says, how's dating for a 30-year-old man? Well, this show's not about dating. It's fine. It's good. I'm in the relationship and it feels very nice. In terms of food, what foods have I tried? Lots of seafood, a lot of fresh fish. I've had a lot of fresh golden bream, which also goes by the name of dorado. I've had chicken breasts. As I mentioned earlier, you won't find too much pork here in Portugal from my experience so far. It's mostly chicken, beef culture for land meats, but Portugal, so far my experience has been that it's mostly seafood. So you'll find a lot of codfish, which they call bacalao, similar name in Spanish as well. It's really good. They have different ways of preparing the bacalao. They have different fritters and empanadas, meat pastries. They have chicken meat pastries, and they're really good. You have to try the pastéis de nata, which is an egg tart, and it's a sweet little tart to enjoy for breakfast or any time of day, but for breakfast is definitely the peak time to try them out, and they're really good. Here in Lisbon and other Portuguese areas, you will find them being made fresh throughout the day. Now, when it comes to food, usually you have to, unlike in other countries, you have to ask for bread and for butter and for olive oil, and they do charge you a nominal amount. Usually it's about €1 or €2, so you do have to ask for those things. Fish sometimes is sold by the kilo, so don't be alarmed if you see like a huge price tag on a golden bream or a cod where it says like €70, and it's because they're charging you for it. That's for a kilo, which is a lot of fish. That's a fish for like 3 people, 4 people. So don't be alarmed, it's by kilo. Are there a lot of tourists, says Julie? Yes, there are. I mean, it's actually looking a bit empty. I think it might be because it's the middle of the day and it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a bit warm. So that's why it might be a little bit chill at the moment. But there are a lot of tourists. Yes, there are. Paellas are also pretty common, says Marcus. Yes. So here, paella, they might call it paella, but they also just call it seafood rice. Seafood rice is really, really good. It's nice and juicy, very moist rice, filled with seafood. They are very generous with their portions here in Portugal. You will not go hungry. Don't worry. They give you huge slabs of fish, massive portions of rice, lots of potatoes. The potatoes here are generally very good. And also the wine flows freely here. It's really good. And then another thing you should try is the cataplana, which is a seafood stew. And that's usually made to order, and it's so delicious. Usually they would do it for 2. So if you're with someone, highly recommend a cataplana. Have you visited Sintra yet? I did go to Sintra, and it was amazing. Sintra is the place where they had the royal palaces and a few estates of well-off residents of Portugal, and it was stunning. I went to Pina Palace, and I went to the Moorish Castle, which is one of the best preserved old Moorish fortifications, and I just had a blast. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. Michael says, do I like eating rice and beans? I do. I am from Puerto Rico. My family's Puerto Rican. I grew up eating rice and beans. And in New York, I also love Mexican food, for example. That also has a lot of rice and beans. Have you found any good coffee here? Coffee here in general is pretty damn good. The average espresso is better than the average espresso in America. Though coffee is not at the same standard, in my opinion, as Italy or Greece. But there's pretty damn good coffee almost everywhere. The gas stations, cafeterias, restaurants, both small and big, bars. There's pretty damn good coffee everywhere. So, at bakeries as well. Now, what they do here unique is it's an espresso-based culture, but they make very long shots of espresso. So in Italy, it's like this small. I forgot exactly how much this translates to. I think it's 7 grams. But here they make it almost double the size of an Italian espresso. So it'll feel like you're drinking a lot of coffee, but you're not. It's just a little bit more watery than a typical Italian espresso. Now, in terms of finding coffee shops, there's plenty. You also find modern coffee shops. Here, there's 2 of them in the Bascia district. Here's the Espresso Lab. And some of these coffee shops are nice and spacious, which I really enjoy. And yes, there's a lot of trams, though. Lisbon, from an American perspective, I always got disclaimed that because I know people, when you're talking about prices, sometimes things are expensive indeed for the locals. But from my New York perspective, Ubers here are very inexpensive. So I've mostly relied on Ubers and have not done so much public transportation. Actually, have not taken public transportation at all, except for the bus from Lisbon to the Algarve, which was a private Flix bus. I haven't found the use for it yet. And then a lot of things are super walkable. The city is actually not that big. The city's like the size of the Upper West Side. So you can easily get around. So here, there's a good example of a kind of a more general European style cafe. You can find American style coffee in places like Copenhagen Coffee Club, right over here. What part are we in, says Christine? We are in Bascia. Did you rent a car, says Robbie? Yes. My girlfriend and I rented a car in southern Portugal, in the Algarve. Though, car is not necessary even in the Algarve, which is the resort beach area of Portugal. You can rely almost entirely on Ubers, and Ubers are very inexpensive. To do like a 30-minute drive in the Algarve costs maybe 9 euros, 10 euros, 12 euros. Same thing here, to do a 30-minute drive, 10 euros, 12 euros. To get to Sintra from Lisbon Center, which is another beautiful area with palaces, it cost, during rush hour, 35 euro. And that was a 1-hour drive. Lisa says, pork is the best. You know, Lisa, my personal experience, I have not seen pork in many of the menus here. Arjan says, how are you? Arjan, I'm doing very well. Do you see a lot of scooters on the road? No, I don't think there are scooters. You see motorcycles here. But the city, I don't think is too conducive to scooters. There's a lot of cobblestone streets. There are a lot of hills. It's a bit tough to fully scoot around. Straya Queen says, oh no, water and coffee? No way. I don't blame you. But that's good. It's good. It's better than the typical American espresso. Loving all your shorts. You're the best, says Jills. Hey, Jills, I'm so glad you're loving my shorts. You really have to ask for bread. Surprisingly, it's not put on the table before the meal. Yes, exactly. 106 live viewers. Oh wow, we got a lot of people tuning in. It's amazing. I'm sure you had egg tarts. I have had a lot of egg tarts. I've egg tarted almost every single day. I've been on the egg tart diet. Streets look empty today. Yeah, it's just because it's hot. It's not even that hot. It's like it's like cool. It's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot is when it's 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Then that's hot. Alright, everyone, I'm going to show you one more shot of the tram. If you have any last remaining questions, feel free to ask. You'll see Lisbon at least one more time on live video. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. These were my first impressions of Lisbon. Highly recommend it. It's a great city to visit. It is indeed very touristy, and it is more vibrant on a cooler day. I highly recommend visiting Lisbon. You're going to have a blast. Here are the historic trams. Don't worry, the expenses here won't be as much as a city like New York or London. It'll also be cheaper than Rome or Paris, but not as cheap as Greece. That's my comparison. In terms of getting around, if you are able-bodied and can walk hills, Lisbon is very easy to get around. If you struggle a little bit with walking, Lisbon can be a bit of a pain to walk because it's a lot of hills. Right now we're in the very flat area, and there's minimal accessibility. So the best way to get around Lisbon would be through Ubers, but Ubers, because they're small streets, sometimes you may have to wait for them, even though they are indeed inexpensive. And here are the famous trams. This is tram 28. This is the one that a lot of people end up taking. And it's empty right now. During the day, these trams are so famous that they're packed to the brim with tourists. But it seems like during the hot time in the middle of the day, it's the time to come. Where I'm going next, well, you'll find out. I'll show you 2 more locations. You'll be seeing 2 more destinations on live video in the next week. So stay tuned. And aside from that, I'll be posting short videos. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Lisbon is worth it. Do come here. Come here in the summertime. It's a great time. My top recommendation is stay in Alfama, not Bastia. In Alfama, there's more local life. There's more interesting restaurants and bars. And there's a little bit more vibrancy at night. Stay curious. And also, as I say, I haven't done this in a while. I haven't said bye in a while in the live video. As I said in live videos, keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.